What would you assess overall, just the first week, overall energy level?
I think the energy level has been really, really good. You know, we've got a lot of position battles that are going on. We've obviously moved some guys offensively, you know, on the line. Have you know, with the two new JC guys, and then moving Said to left. Actually have experimented with a little Jermaine Affetti at right tackle, you know, which he thinks he's skinny anyway at 324. So, you know, we created a little bit more energy during practice with those guys up front, and a bunch of new guys out there anyway, moving in positions and trying to earn them. So, whenever you have something like that, you know, the energy level is always pretty good, I think.
What more, if anything, can you tell us about the dismissal of Cameron Miles?
I think there was a release today. That's about it.
You can't say anything about.
I just said there was a release today, and that's about it.
With safety being a position that you guys can't really afford to lose depth, how does that affect you guys in the secondary moving forward?
Well, he didn't play last year, so we're going to have to find somebody to help us.
Who are some of the guys that you're looking to step up at safety?
You know, we had the two guys from last year that played. Devontae Burns is having a really, really good camp. You know, he's been around here a long time and really was a good special teams player for us from game 3, 4, 5 on. So, you know, it's about time for him to start showing up, and he has. You know, you've got 3 guys back there who have played a lot, not always well, but have played and are experienced and need to step up. And I think, you know, Devontae is right in the mix with the other 3 guys.
Does it open the conversation for DeShazer going back over there at all?
Not right now, no.
Coach, you were mentioning the newer guys, the JC. Is there anybody in particular that's really stood out to you, some of the early enrollee guys?
Not really. You know, those guys are getting plenty of turns, you know, and they're right in the mix. I think Coach Anderson's done a good job of you know, putting them with the 2s so they can get used to their technique. You get up there with the 1s and things are happening real fast, and guys get a little bit worried. So, you know, Avery is really, really athletic, and you know, and Jermaine is a lot more athletic than I thought he would be. So, those 2 guys are great additions, and you know, it just takes some time. The good news to me is that they're here for spring football, which gives them an opportunity to really grow through the offense, go through the summer, know what's going on, and then come in 2-a-days having been coached on what to do and what not to do, and will give them an opportunity to be either a real quality backup or a chance to start. So there's real good competition. You know, Garrett Grambling finished out the year it was excellent. You know, we had said missed a couple games, and then you know, Garrett was in there playing very, very well. Moved Jarvis out. You know, people don't talk about that, and really started 2 football games. Finished the bowl game after Jarvis got hurt again, and we didn't miss a beat. So, you know, Garrett is kind of a new guy for us, for everybody else, because all those other guys got all the accolades, but he's a big dude in there now. He's always 6'6", and he's 315, 20 pounds, and really gives us some flexibility at guard to be able to kind of move Jermaine around and Cheek. And you know, people forgot Cheek's still here. So we've got some guys around that give us some quality depth in the offensive line, and we need to get to a point in this program where we have that kind of depth on the defensive line.
What have you seen in quarterback?
I've seen a bunch of guys that are pretty good. So, you know, there's a great competition. You know, Matt's really competing at a high level, and he should. You know, he's been around here forever. He understands the offense, you know, has played in games and has really, really, you know, improved. Kenny is a lot more focused right now and doing some good things, and the young guys come in, and you know, he's making strides every day. You don't expect him to be where those guys are at this point, but you know, we split practice a little bit tonight and scrimmaged and went live tonight for 64 plays, and so there were some good things. I got to watch the video, but You know, I thought you know, our running backs ran very well. You know, we had some Zakovian Henderson was noticeable today, and but he was with, you know, some of with the twos. But he's a guy that really needs a summer, I think, to get into football playing shape. But you know, there's no doubt that he's a very, very talented young man and is benefiting from graduating early, just like Speedy and just like Kyle. That's not for everybody, but for those three guys, I think it's going to be beneficial for them, and it's going to be beneficial for our team.
What are a couple of ways Kyle's making strides?
You know, I don't know. I think he's got to learn the offense, and you know, what we have to do is, like tonight, we put him in a position where he could be successful with not giving him the whole menu and letting him play in a style that benefits him, you know, and where he's comfortable. And so, you know, realistically, Matt should have everything. You know, Kenny should have a little less than everything, and he should have a lot less than both those guys at this point. You know, we're a third of the way. We've got 5 practices. It's hard to believe. We've got 5 practices in, and going to spring break, and you know, a third of the way in. He shouldn't have everything. You know, we get back. We've got a couple more weeks to stretch out spring football, and a couple scrimmages, put him in some live situations. But he'll get more and more as we go, and you know, we'll be able to assess a little bit more. You know, after 5 practices, I think all those guys are right where we thought they'd be.
Overall, as a team, are you happy with where your group is heading into spring break?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're on pace. You know, with where we need to be. We got a lot of guys coming off of surgeries though, and so it's a little bit watered down from that standpoint. You know, with you know, just the number of, you know, you'd like to see the Jay Arnolds out there. You'd like to see Jarvis Harrison, but in a way, you know, with Jarvis being out, that's really helped us to develop some of these. You know, those are turns. We know what Jarvis can do, but those are turns that now the young guys, the new JC guys, are getting that they may have not gotten. Does that make sense? And so, from that standpoint, you know, sometimes those injuries hurt you because young guys like Deshaun Hall and Jay Arnold need them. But on the other hand, you know, a guy like Jarvis, we know what we had in him. It's a chance to develop the other guys. And so, you know, it looks a little bit different right now defensively. But, you know, I think that will change certainly in the fall because of the young D linemen that are injured, particularly at end.
What has A.J. Hilliard shown you guys working at the 2 linebackers?
You know, he's a guy that I haven't talked about, and you know, we took 2 linebackers this year. He's like a JC transfer. You know, here's a guy who played as a freshman at TCU, highly recruited kid. You know, but he's come in here, just been a quiet guy. He's 230 now. Runs really well. Has the ability to play, I think, all 3 spots, probably at least 2 of them. Really smart. Made the AB honor roll last semester. So he's a great addition. And it would be like us going out and, you know, shoot. We tried to recruit him when we first got here. We had like 3 or 4 weeks, and I bugged Coach Smith to death, but he was already committed to TCU, and you know, things kind of work out. I think, you know, the difference with us is that, you know, the transfers that we've taken, we've known something about. We tried to recruit them or talk to them or knew something about them, and fortunately, you know, the guys that we've gotten from other schools, and you know, and Brandon Williams and Trey Carson and AJ, you know, we knew something about them, and it looks to me like they're going to be real big-time contributors for this program.
You got to realize, of course, like you said, there's only been 5 practices. What you've seen from your receivers, the receiving position, do you feel like that's, from what you've seen, enough to feel confident that it's going to remain a position of strength?
Yeah, I think so. You know, it's you know, 2 years ago, you know, what were we going to do? We lost Swope. We lost. You know, people forgot about. You know, what are we going to do? We lost Mike. You know, the biggest thing is not losing, not just Mike, but losing Travis, and Darrell Walker. You know, Darrell Walker was one of the first guys we signed. You know, he had, what, 800 yards this year. You know, and so, you know, we've got a lot of yards to replace, and because of that, we've got a lot of young guys. You know, I would argue last year's, not this year's, but last year's receiving class recruited was as high as there was in the country. A couple of them played. You know, Ricky got hurt, but he's going to get a medical red shirt for that year. He's ready to go, and so I would say that you know, we've got quality young guys there, and it looks to me like they're pretty excited and trying to play, and they know there's about 3,000 yards of yardage out there that somebody's going to have to get, and they're competing really hard. You know, from the guy who just got here in Speedy to you know, to Malcolm Kennedy, and you know, Malcolm's showing great leadership out there because he's been the guy that's really played in big games and helped us. But you know, those young guys are what we think they are, and this practice time has been very valuable for them.
Do you feel like Ricky's moving well coming off that?
Yeah, he's doing well. We took it easy on him. He didn't scrimmage tonight live, but he's done everything else we've asked him to do. I mean, in practice, didn't want to put him in there. He was mad at me because, you know, that's usually the case. I'd rather him be mad at me and he goes home for spring break. I'll probably get a call from him and his parents, you know. But, you know, it's early, and, you know, another week of spring break, and then we'll see. We'll have the doctors look at him again. But he's done everything. But tonight's the first time we went live and for part of the practice. And, you know, I just wanted to make sure you know, I don't think it's ready yet, and we'll assess him when he comes back from spring break.
I know you guys worked him inside and outside during camp last year. Do you have a place particular that you like him?
You know, he's a big target, you know, inside. So he's really easy to see in there, you know, with other guys, and he's comfortable in there. So, you know, he's. We'll probably get to. We're dual training a lot of our receivers this year instead of just keeping them in one spot, which is helping them and helping our offense and helping them understand spacing and what's going on. So, you know, we're still with these young guys. You know, this time of year, the advantage of this time of year is you can dual train people because you don't have to play anybody. Yeah, they come in the fall, you don't have time to do that. You got to get a guy to learn one spot and hope he's proficient enough to handle that in 3 weeks. Now we've got this time till, you know, the 28th of August to dual train and figure out where a guy needs to be. So we're doing a bunch of that with our receivers.
In terms of his medical, is that something, I've never been quite clear on that, is that something that y'all already heard from the NCAA? Or
No,
hear from
we've
down the line?
filed for it.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I don't see why there's going to be a problem. It's,
Right.
you know, the season was over. You know,
Right.
he heard it the first game of the year.
But is that something y'all hear this off season, or is it
Yeah, we'll hear
years from
something.
now? Or okay.
I think we'll hear something.